What's up, everybody? Welcome to the team Fish Knuckles YouTube channel. Today is Wayback Wednesday, and sometimes during Wayback Wednesday, what we're going to do is look at older videos of Pokemon. Now, in this case, we have probably my favorite video of all time. It's probably one of the coolest videos ever. It's got two amazing players, Dustin Zimmerman and Matthew Kish. Dustin is on the right, Matthew's on the left, and this is from Top Cut. I'll have a link down below to the original video, but what we're going to do is kind of talk a little bit more about the cards and stuff like that, because when this video was released 10 years ago, everybody knew what these cards did, right? So this is literally from November 2011, Indiana Regionals, round number 7. Like I said, it's probably one of my favorite videos of all time. Yeah, don't want to spoil anything. If you know what it is, you know what it is. This is Dustin's Z story. So yeah, we're going to talk about this video. Just play it, and hopefully you like this kind of stuff. Like I said, we'll have a link down below to the original video where you can hear Puka, our one and only Puka, commentated, everything like that. So let's hit play. Let's watch this video, and let's start talking about some stuff. So on the right, we have Cleffa. Now, Cleffa is a really good card because it has the Poke Body that says, you know, you can't be hurt if this Pokemon is asleep, and its attack is Eek. So what Eek does is allow you to shuffle your hand to the deck and get 7 new cards. Now, in 2011, you can attack on your first turn, and if you're confused of what just happened, why did that Pokemon switch? Why did Yanma switch with Magnemite? Well, that's because Dustin played a Pokemon Catcher. Now, Pokemon Catcher is like a boss order, but it's not a supporter card. That's how cool it was back then, right? You just say, okay, I'm just going to Catcher, brings my Pokemon to the active. It's a really big change, obviously. We really didn't have ways to attacking the bench until really Catcher came out, right? I think he actually used maybe Professor Oaks. He didn't use Eek just yet. That's what it looks like. Either Professor Oaks or Copycat. I'm not sure exactly which one to use. Looks like he used Pokegear. Pokegear allows you to look at top 7 cards of your deck, put a supporter card into your hand. Looks like he did find a Charen. So we see 2 Zoruas, Yanmas, 2 Yanmas, DC going to the Zora, and plus power. Plus power allows you to do more damage. Of course, Cleffa is not attacking. It's eking here. So since it doesn't do any damage, it does not get any additional damage with that plus power. But what this allows it to do is later on, there's a card called Junk Arm. Junk Arm, sorry, it says discard 2 cards out of your hand. If you do, grab any item card. So Dustin can grab that plus power later on. It's 1 less card in his deck as well. And you see that Cleffa does stay asleep, so it can't be hurt this turn if Matthew does decide to attack it somehow. Now, that Magnemite actually does not have free retreat, so Matthew will have to play a switch to get that Magnemite on the active. Now you wonder what just happened. It was a Pokemon communication. We know what that card does. Show a Pokemon from your hand, put it into your deck, and grab a new Pokemon. This is a reprint very recently. I think it's actually not in format anymore, but I think a lot of people know what that card does, right? We know what that card does. And if you see Dustin, he's showing his hand. You're going to see this a lot in 2011 videos or anything that has Yanmega. And that's because it really mattered about hand sizes, because there's a card that both players are playing, and that is Yanmega Prime. Now, Yanmega Prime has the Poke Power Insight. If you have the same hand size as your opponent, Yanmega can attack for free on both of his attack. So it has Linear Attack, which does 40 to anybody, and Sonic Boom, which does 70 to any Pokemon. So that's pretty cool. So we see Cleffa come down. Now, this is a pretty popular deck on the left. Yanmega Magnezone. It was very, very popular during Worlds and Nationals and stuff like that the year before. And we do see a Copycat, so we see Matthew will shuffle his hand to deck and get 6 cards. Hopefully to find probably more Magnemites, more Yanma. Now, there's no Rare Candy turn 1. This is still not that format. There was some of the formats where you can, like Rare Candy Magnezone. Can you imagine Rare Candy Magnezone? We'll talk about Magnezone here more in a second. But I imagine we'll see Matthew use Magnemite's first attack. I think it's Magnetic Switch. It just says switch with one of your bench Pokemon, right? So let's see if Matthew finds anything to go on the bench. And we do see a second Magnemite come down. Now, Magnezone is like MVP. Like, it was everywhere. It was one of the best cards during this time. Magnezone Prime. It had Magnetic Draw. It lets you draw to have 6 cards in your hand. And you can do this multiple times. So if you have like 3 Magnezone Primes, you can constantly use Magnetic Draw over and over again to get 6 cards, right? And so that's a really good card. It then had a Lost Burn. Now, the kicker about Lost Burn, you discard as many energies in play. It does 50 times the amount of energies, right? But they go in the Lost Zone. So if you discard like 2 energies, it does do 100, but they go into a Lost Zone. Now, Lost Zone is an area If you're not familiar with it, it's in the top left. It's above the prize zones. It actually still exists to say because you can play an expanded, but you can never get anything out of the lost zone. Once it's there, it's gone forever. So that's a big thing to recognize. Is when they're in there, you can't get it back. You can't retrieve the energies back. So you have to be careful when you're lost burning back in the day because you can lose these energies. We see Dustin does get down first. Yanmega Prime, bro. Yanmega Prime. So you see Pokemon Communication. Gonna put, looks like another Yanma in the deck. Let's see what Dustin gets here. Now I imagine he's playing the Zoroark. That lets you copy any of your opponent's attacks. And interesting enough, that Cleffa does stay asleep. So now Dustin can't attack because that Cleffa is asleep. So it's like good and bad, right? Matthew can't hurt this Cleffa, right? Because it is asleep. But now Dustin can't attack unless he finds a switch here. And he actually can't use Eek again because that Cleffa is still asleep. And we see Dustin just pass here because he can't do anything. So we see a coin flip. Looks like it's tails. So that Cleffa is still sleeping. It's just snoozing. So Matthew can't hurt it this turn, right? It can't do anything. But we see Matthew find the Yanmega. So it can linear attack if it wants to. Now, I think if I was Matthew, I might have sent up the Cleffa instead. I would have sacrificed my Magnemite. I'm not 100% sure why he promoted the Magnemite with the Magnetic Switch. I guess he wanted to keep the Cleffa safe, just in case it does get knocked out. But if Dustin wanted to attack anything, he could have linear attacked the Cleffa, right? So, I don't know. It's interesting. We will see Pokemon Collector. Now, Collector, really amazing card. Get 3 base Pokemon and put them into your hand. They don't have to go on the bench. That's a key thing to know. They go in your hand. So we'll see what he gets here. Maybe another Yanma. Maybe another Magnemite. Maybe another Yanma. I don't know. I don't know what's in these players' deck list. I have no idea. It's been a long time since I've seen this video. So let's see what happens. What does he decide to get? But I imagine he wants to find that ranking Magnezone like ASAP. So there is a Yanma and a Horsey. So that means he's playing Kingdra Prime. Now, Kingdra Prime does have the attack, or the Poke Power. Is it a power or ability? I can't remember anymore. I think it's Poke Powers. Spray Splash, I think that's what it's called. It does 10 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So that might seem like a lot, but 40 plus a 10 is 50, which can knock out a Yanma because they have 50 HP. I'm pretty sure Magnemite has 60, so you can't knock those out immediately. But being able to linear attack plus Spray Splash or whatever it's called, it's pretty good. So we see Cleffa. Both Cleffas are chilling. One is a promo, one is not a promo, so that Cleffa stays awake. Dustin's Cleffa stays awake, or wakes up. So this is nice. So both Cleffas are awake. We see Matthew's board is filling up. And these Prime Pokemon are just single prize Pokemon. So both players have to take 6 prize cards, which is pretty cool, right? There's no like EXs or EXs or VMAXs or Megas or anything like that in these formats. You have to take 6 prize cards. You have there's no ifs, ands, or buts. EXs were not revealed to later. I think this is the last year of non-EXs. Hopefully I'm right. So we see Catcher. Brings me up bench the active. We are going to see that Yanma come up. Dustin might be trying to take a quick knockout. We see Charon going to draw 3 cards. Charon, man. The chair is being played just to draw 3. We see Dustin is spinning his hand out once again, showing you, hey, Matthew, I have this many cards. And we will see a Sonic Boom for knockout. So Dustin taking the first prize card, going down to 5. And as you see, that Magnemite is getting some energies. I think that energy was attached actually 2 turns ago. Because this is now Matthew's 3rd turn. So, yeah, he missed the energy drop, which is unfortunate. With these Magnemites deck, you would attach energies every single turn, so you can Lost Burn for that full potential. So that is a big thing to note. But let's see what Matthew has here. So we see Twins. Now, Twins is a fantastic card. If a Pokemon's knocked out, you can search deck for 82 cards and put them into your hand. So Matthew will most likely find a Rare Candy and Magnezone. And we'll start seeing that magnetic draw. Now, unfortunately, there's 7 cards in Dustin's hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Matthew will not be able to hit 7 cards. It's impossible. There's no cards to let him draw to 7. Because magnetic draw lets you draw to 6. So that is the interesting thing about this Cleffa War is because it is easy to manipulate the 6, but 7's impossible, right? It's pretty impossible. Especially, Matthew's going to Rare Candy, get that Magnezone. I guess if he just played 1 card, then he could have technically do that, but you want to get this Magnezone out. You want to use Magnezone Prime's Magnetic Draw and just draw the F6 cards in your hand. And you just start drawing, and you just keep going super fast, trying to get more rare candies, more Magnezones, maybe another Magnemite down. He does have a Lightning in the hand, but like I said, he's not going to be attacking with his Yanmega because there's no way he can get up to 7. The best thing he can do right now is Eek and cross your fingers and hope you stay asleep so that Cleffa does not get knocked out, which is pretty unfortunate for Matthew. So let's see what Matthew decides to do. He did attach per turn, got the energy on that Magnemite, and we just see Eek. So we see Dustin does have 8 cards in his hand. If he plays down 2, he can start using linear attack. This coin flip is very crucial because once again, if this Cleffa if it stays asleep, the Dustin can't attack it, and he has a linear attack, a bench Pokemon or catcher, somebody off the bench, the active. Man, catcher, what a good card, right? So many cards in this format that I miss. It shows how long we're playing Pokemon. So Matthew will draw some cards. Is that a Rainbow Energy? Is that a Rainbow? I mean, yeah, I guess he wants to attack with Kingdra. So that Cleffa does wake up. So that means Dustin can attack this Cleffa if he decides to do that. So that's pretty cool. Take 2 quick prize cards in this race because once these Magnezones are set up, it's going to be hard for Dustin to take a knock on these because it doesn't look like he's playing Donphan. Sometimes in these stage 1 decks, right, these Yanmega Zoroarks, they did play Donphan. Donphan, can hit weakness. Magnezone as a stage 1 needs 1 energy. And so that was one way that players took down, these, Magnezone is that deck. I actually played that deck back in the day. Was Yanmega Zoroark Donphan Megazord, right? I think that's what it's called. Called a Megazord, right? Am I crazy? I think it's called Megazord. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I can't remember stuff anymore. But we see Junkar. Once again, Junkar is going to allow him to discard 2 cards from his hand and get any trainer card out of his discard pile. Now, remember, trainer cards are not support cards, right? So this can grab like a catcher, you can grab plus power. So we see Dustin does grab a catcher. Now I wonder what he's going to bring up with this catcher. He could bring up Horsey. He's got to get his hand to Sex Eye. So he had 8. Now he's down to 5. So it's going to be hard for him to copy that. I think if I did the math right, unless he's got like some kind of chain or copycat, he hasn't played a support card just yet. So catcher going to bring up that Horsey. So Horsey is most likely going to get knocked out. Like I said, Horsey is kind of scary because that, that additional 10 damage, might not seem like a lot, but it is a lot. Because like in one shot, like Yanma's, it can, take some knockouts on Zoras if like Dustin doesn't evolve his Zora to Zoroarks, because you can Space Splash. Next turn, 40, Space Splash, knock it out. So that is a scary thing for sure. So we'll see Dustin. Looks like he is playing Copycat, so he'll get 6 new cards here. Very, very strong. 4, 5, and maybe it's 36. But yeah, it was mostly a Copycat. I don't think Dustin's playing like Professor Oaks in this list. I think Oak is legal now. N was not legal just... Well, yeah, N was Noble Victories. I don't think it was legal just yet. Yeah, it was not legal. So N was not legal. Professor Oak's new theory, I think, was legal at this time. Yeah, so we see a Lightning Energy attached to Magnezone. Now, that Yanmega is weak to Lightning, but if you don't know, Yanmega has 110 HP, so you have to... I'm pretty sure it's 110. So you have to burn 2 energies. It is weak, so you do hit for weakness, right? And yeah, it has 110 HP. You have to discard 2 to do 200 damage. And like I said before, when you discard these cards, they go into the loss zone. They actually don't go into your discard pile. So you have to be very, very careful. And this is where the matchup gets really interesting. Because like Dustin, he's taking 2 quick prize cards, right? His Yanmegas are starting to do some damage. Taking 2 quick knockouts. He's up and running. And while Matthew, he hasn't done anything besides like set up this Magnezone. He missed an energy detachment, which could be a big deal as well. 1 turn. Because he should have 4 energies out. And we see that Matthew does play Judge. Now, Judge is a very, very strong card in the Magnezone because what Matthew can do now is he can play his hands down to 1 to 0 cards, and then he can Magnetic Draw if he hasn't already Magnetic Draw, which looks like he might have. So see your treat, the Magnezone, and let's see, has he already used Magnetic Draw? I'm gonna put down there the Magnemite, and okay, he has not. So there's Magnetic Draw. I'm gonna draw 3 because he had 4, played 1, draw 3. So there we go. So if he gets all these Magnemites into Magnezones, then he can Magnetic Draw like 3 times. But we do see the first knockout for Matthew. Gonna go to 5 price cards, using that Lost Burn once again, putting them in the Lost Zone, so he cannot get it back. And on Dustin's turn, he can listen that Yanmega does have that free retreat. He can reach a Cleffa, reach a Zoroark, whatever he wants to. It's pretty cool. Is there an argument? Can you send a Cleffa instead of Yanmega? Sure, I don't think there's any big deal, because they both have free retreat. And I think my internet just froze. Oh, hang on 1 second. Alright guys, here we go. Sorry about that. My internet disconnected for a second. So Boufflant does come down. Now Boufflant is a pretty cool card. It has Revenge, it does 20, and it does 70 more damage if a Pokemon was knocked out. So now he can Revenge, do 90, and then now he dropped a plus power, so now he can do 100 damage. Now, the significance of this is Magnezone Prime has 140 damage, so this means later on Dustin can like linear attack that Magnezone to actually knock it out if he wants to go for that play. And we see Dustin either playing like a copycat right now, or imagine it's copycat. Imagine Dustin probably plays 4 copies of copycat. And what he's looking for is probably a DCE to attack with this Boufflant. I guess he can attack with Yanmega if he really, really wants to, but you're not. I guess you're still two-shotting it, and you leave your Yanmega Prime in like range of getting knocked out next turn pretty easily. So we do see the DC on Boufflant, which is fantastic. So we see the Yanmega Prime retreat. It does have free retreat, which is really, really cool. Great thing about the Yanmega Prime has that free retreat. We see another Yanmega hitting the field, and just think if that Kingdra was in play, Matthew could Spray Splash plus linear attack it to knock it out for a free price card if he wanted to do that. But I imagine Matthew kind of maybe wants to deal with this Boufflant. 90 HP, 90 damage over and over and over again is a lot to deal with. So we're going to see the Boufflant come up, use Revenge, going to hit that 90 plus 10 for the plus power and do 100 damage. You see Dustin once again showing, you know, hey, I have, what, 5 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 4. Yeah, 4 cards. All right, so on to Matthew's turn. Let's see what he decides to do here. He can burn 2 energies, which is a lot, but we'll see. See the light energy attachment to Magnezone Prime. Okay. Does he have another Rare Candy Magnezone? That would be really good. He doesn't play a Magneton yet either. And most of these lists do play at least like 1 Magneton, right? So we haven't seen that card either. We do see a catcher. So Matthew will bring up, and looks like he is going to target down this Yanmega Prime and just kind of take out one of Dustin's main attackers. But the problem with this is Dustin still has that Revenge Boufflant. So we'll be able to, you know, knock out this Magnezone Prime if he wants to next turn. And pretty much take the only real attacker outside of that Yanmega Prime off of Matthew's board. Now Matthew could find a, you know, Magnezone here, maybe a Magneton, but, you know, Matthew's not going to be able to attack with the Magnezone for at least 2 more turns. So we do see the Magnezone coming down. There's no, like, energy switches in this format, so you can't, like, energy switch or anything like that. That didn't come out till later, till after Plasma Blast. I think maybe Plasma Freeze. So that's when Energy Switch came back into format. I don't think it's in this format, if I remember correctly. So Rare Candy to Magnezone Prime. So now what he could do is he can Magnetic Draw for 1 Magnezone, play some cards, and then Magnetic Draw for the second Magnezone. And this is where the deck like really starts accelerating, because you can see like 15 cards in like 1 turn with this Magnetic Draw, which is pretty crazy. And then you have this free attacker with Yanmega Prime. Now, do you see Pachirisu come down? Now, Pachirisu has the Poke Power? Poke... Man, I always get the 2 confused, and I'm probably going to get, like, in trouble, because I can't remember which one's ability, which one's a power. I think it's ability, because you play it down. And basically it says, when you play Pachirisu down, you can attach 2 lightning energies to it, but he only did the 1. So that's kind of interesting. I think you want to say that you can do both. But maybe Matthew is trying to thin the hand, maybe just energy in play. But he still can't attack with the new Magnezone until next turn. And he does discard all the energies off that Magnezone Prime. So now if Dustin takes a knock on it, Matthew's like, oh, well, I lost the Magnezone with no energies. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Get knocked off anyway. So that's why he discarded the energies off that Magnezone Prime. But Matthew's next turn, he's going to have to attack with that Yanmega Prime, because he really doesn't have a way to attack the following turn. Now in the Dustin's turn, he promotes that Yanma. He doesn't have Yanmega does right now, but that Yanma has a Pokebody that says like hit us free retreat if it has no energy attached to it, I'm pretty sure. So he can just retreat to Boufflant. So Dustin has 2 free retreaters. He has a Cleffa and the Yanma, which is pretty nice. So we'll see what Dustin decides to do here. He could, send the Boufflant, take a knockout, and then I believe it is currently tied on prize cards. I believe it's 4-4 now. Yeah, Matthew's taken 2 prize cards, and Dustin has taken 2 easy knockouts in the early games. And so we're all tied up on 4-4. Like I said, there's no like EXs, Megas, VMAXs. There's none of that stuff. There's no 2 or 3 prize cards. Pokemon, this is it. Like this is what we're getting at. Like you have to take 6 prize cards. There's nothing else besides outside of that. But we'll see what Dustin does to here. So does he knock out Boufflant? Looks like he is going to use a catcher and bring up that fresh new Magnezone. So Dustin said, you know what? You can keep that Magnezone there. I know it's not really that threatening right now. I'd rather, do 90 damage to if Dustin can find another plus power. He can go for a linear attack, set that kind of knock up. I'm not sure what card. Maybe using, Copycat is what it might be looking like. He is shuffling his hand to the deck and drawing cards. I'm going to say it's probably Copycat. Once again, is Professor Oak's new theory legal? I think it is. Because I know Juniper's legal. I know Oak's legal. I know Copycat's legal. I'm pretty sure Professor Oak is legal. Yeah. 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 cards. Matthew might have 6 cards in his hand. Don't know. Can't see Dustin's discard pile, unfortunately. But it's okay. Whatever. Alright, so we do see the Yanmega come down. So Dustin has 5 cards. Once again, I don't know how many cards Matthew has. And if Dustin he could knock out the Magnezone on the bench if there is a possibility. But no, it looks like Dustin really wants to go for this Boufflant, do this revenge play. Does he have a plus power and can like double set up knockouts? No, it doesn't look like it. It looks like he's just going to do 90 damage. Yep, just 90 damage. All right, it's on the Matthew's turn. Let's see what happens. So, like I said, he can't attack with Magnezone. It's impossible, right? Like Shaman was just rotated, so there's no. Shaman's not even released right now, if I remember correctly. Man, so many cards to think about. Yeah, Shaman is not released just yet, so you can't use like Celebration Wind, Shaman, or anything like that. We do see a Rescue Energy going to Yanmega Prime. Rescue Energy says like if this Pokemon's knocked out, the Pokemon go back into your hand instead of it getting discarded. So that's a pretty cool card to repick back up your Magnezones or anything like that. And you can Lost Burn it too. It is an energy card, so that is pretty cool to notate. So we see a Junk Arm for Matthew. Going to discard 2 cards. Most likely grabbing a Switch, I imagine. Like I said, Junk Arm, discard 2 cards, grab a trainer card, put in your hand. I imagine this will grab a Switch, and there we go. So that Yanmega Prime is going to get switched out of the active. Now, Dustin does have, 5 cards. So that's going to be pretty easy for Matthew to copy because he can Magnetic Draw to 6, most likely play a card, and he can linear attack or Sonic Boom. It'll be interesting to see which attack he uses. He could go after the Cleffa, but if he goes after the Cleffa, that means Dustin can then once again use Revenge. And this Boufflant is putting a lot of work in. What does Matthew do about this Boufflant? He's just doing 90 damage to everybody. But you might be saying, okay, Josh, what's the big damage? What's the big deal? It's just doing 90 damage. Well, I mean, it's 2-shotting all of his guys instead of knockouts. It's pretty cool. So we finally see Magneton comes out. Like I said, most of us did play 1 Magneton, sometimes 2, just because how good it was. And looks like we are going to see, a Sonic Boom for 70. Trying to 2-shot this Boufflant. Now Boufflant can't use Revenge next turn. It only does 20. So, really nothing of damage-wise. So, that's fine. That's fine. Whatever. We're fine with that play. Got to do the 20. Got to start pecking away. But the interesting thing to note is he did put the Rescue Energy on Yanmega and not on, that Magneton, right? So what this means is, once again, Magnezone can't attack for another 2 turns. So this buys Dustin 2 more turns to attack with Yanmega, and he's already up on prize cards, so has pretty much the advantage here, because the Yanmegas are 2-shotting each other, so that's a pretty cool thing to note. So we'll see what happens with Dustin's turn. He just used a Junk Arm. A Junk Arm could, maybe bring up a catcher, and, bring up, discard a Weavile. Oh, man, I think it's a Claw Snag Weavile. Oh, man, if I can remember correctly. I think it brings a Pokemon. Oh man, I have to look the card up. Oh well, if it gets in play, we'll look it up. So we do see the Foul Play Zoroark come down. Foul Play says, hey, copy one of your opponent's attack and use it. That's what it says. It says, hey, pick an opponent's attack and use it. So you can use linear attack, you can use Sonic Boom, you can copy linear attack, do 40, maybe knock out the Cleffa, do 70, maybe like start damage the Yanmega, two-shot it. There's a lot of things that Dustin could do this turn, depending on how he wants to play this hand out. So now he doesn't have to mimic Matthew's hand size, and what Dustin could do, hypothetically, is he could put his hand size down really low and make it where Matthew can't copy it. But see, Dustin does play Juniper, discard your hand, draw 7. We know what that card does. It's a very classic card, even to this day. I don't think we have not seen a Juniper rotate. I don't think like ever. Am I crazy? Do we have like one format we didn't have Juniper? Maybe we did. I think we had like one like small window where Juniper was not legal. But maybe I'm crazy. I am a little crazy. My internet disconnected again. Like, this is my life right now. Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me fix it. Alright, so we're back. Dustin just used a Juniper. Like I said, I don't think there's a window where we haven't seen Juniper not in format and standard, but there might have been a format without it. But, so Dustin got down to Zoroark. He can use Nasty Plot, copy opponent's attack if he wants to. I think it's a foul plot? Is it foul play? I think it's foul play, actually, Josh. You're getting your Zoroarks confused. There's too many Zoroarks in this format. Let's see. I think it is the foul play, right? Yeah, it's foul play, not Nasty Plot. Oh, man. So many cards, remember. Like, this is 10 years ago, so sorry if I named someone. And he got another Zoroark now. So now he's got double Zoroarks. He can start copying attacks, whatever he wants to do. Now, you can only copy the active. That's a big thing to note here. You can only copy the active. But, like I was saying, if Dustin can play his hand size really low, it might be hard for Matthew to even attack the following turn, because if like Matthew can't mimic Dustin's hand, it could be a big deal. It could be a big deal here. So we'll see the DC retreat to Buffalon. We'll see Yanmega come up. And it looks like what we're going to see instead is Yanmega just like fight it out. Because like Matthew, once again, okay, maybe not. But either way, it's like Matthew can't one-shot the Zoroark. He can't one-shot this Yanmega. But Dustin can get the early like price trade on this, and we'll see. Oh, he's actually going to go after the Cleffa and take a knockout here. And go down to 3. Okay, all right. Well, you know, we'll take those price cards. Like I said, the only thing Matthew can really do is attack with his Yanmega. There's no way he can attack with a Magnezone, so the Zoroark is pretty safe here. It's just chilling, you know. It's not going to get knocked out. The most thing that Matthew could do is maybe knock out the Buffalon this turn. So see, Twins going to grab 82 cards out of his deck. And looks like Dustin's showing the hand size again, saying, hey, I have 6 cards. Can you mimic this? Well, the answer is yes. It's probably the easiest thing to mimic because Matthew's got 3 Magnezones. So he can magnetic draw 3 times. And like, all right, well, I'm going to draw a couple cards to 6. And I'm going to go, play a couple cards. And then I'm going to magnetic draw for 6. And then I guess I'll play some cards. And I'll magnetic draw for 6. Not play any cards. And then I can linear attack and maybe knock out that Buffalon on the bench if I want to. That's a pretty cool thing they could do. Like, Matthew can knock out the Buffalon, and knock out the Cleffa, and then what can Dustin do, right? It is 4-3 on prize cards right now. I'm pretty sure it's 4-3. Can't see Matthew's prize cards very well, but I think it's 4-3. I think it seems right. Maybe it's 3-3. Ooh, that could be spicy. So Lightning Energy going to Magnezone. So once again, you know, Dustin can't one-shot this Magnezone at all. So we see Energy Attachment. We see Magnetic Draw. Going to draw up to 6 cards. If Matthew has anything to play out of them or not. But, I mean, it looks like this game's looking like really, really close here. Like, Dustin's got 3 prize cards left. Matthew has, like, 3, maybe 4 left. Can't really see. And we're going to see a linear attack just, hey, knock out that Buffalon. Okay, so now it's 3-3 on prize cards. And right now, Dustin, I mean, he could start picking off, like, the Magnezone with the 100 HP, right? And go down to 2 that way. And then maybe Sonic Boom the Pachirisu. And then maybe, like, Sonic Boom the other Magnezone, and that's his 3 prize cards. So, that, you know, that is a way that he could win. And then all Matthew's got to do is linear attack Cleffa, and then Lost Bird. Well, that's still not enough. That's still not enough energy. So, we'll have to see here. It's really, like I said, the really interesting thing about this format is you have to take 6 prize cards. It's not like you knock out a Prime, you take 2 prize cards, and you know, games are significantly quicker. You have to think about everything because as Matthew takes more knockouts with Lost Burn, that is less and less energies that are in Matthew's deck and that are in Lost Zone, and Matthew can never access those again. So see, Dustin is looking at his resources, seeing, you know, what do I have left in my deck? All right, so see, he does have Junk Arm, so Junk Arm can allow him to grab Catcher if he wants to, bring up somebody up to the bench to the active. If he wants to do it that way, he can maybe bring up Pachirisu and maybe somehow attack with Magnezone for a knockout. Or he can, maybe just linear attack the Magnezone with 100. I don't know. Let's see what Dustin decides to do. There's a lot to think about here. And, how do you make sure Matthew does not take these prize swords? I think right now both these players are 6-0 in this regionals. There's 9 rounds. So that is a big deal, obviously. So Dustin is thinking about it. And looks like we might just see, just a Sonic Boom here. Just going to do 70 damage to that Yanmega Prime. So now, Dustin can knock that again if he wants to. Matthew has to decide, okay, do I attach energy to this Magnezone and burn 2? It looks like that's what we're going to see here. Looks like we see a light energy attached to that Magnezone. We'll see probably a retreat and knock out the Zoroark, most likely. But we'll see what Matthew decides to do here. And so we do see Catcher. Now, Catcher's going to bring up that Yanmega Prime. And what this does, it makes it where, Dustin doesn't really have an attacker next turn. Yes, he can hypothetically copy Lost Burn. I think Lost Burn only does 100 damage because it's energy card, not energy discard, if that makes sense. I'm pretty sure that's correct. I don't think DCEs count as 100 HP or 100 damage. Don't quote me on that. Hold on. I think I have Magnezone Prime looked up right now. Hold on. Let me see here. Let's see. Discard the number of energy cards. So it's not the amount of energy discarded. So it's not like a DCE counts as 100. Whew, that'd be insane. Then Dustin can burn 100, burn 200, and one-shot this Magnezone Prime. No, the max he could do next turn with this Zoroark is only 100 if he discarded 2 DCEs, unfortunately. So see, Matthew is going to retreat this Yanmega Prime. It does have free retreat, the best thing about the card, right? So going to retreat it. It's not one of the best things. It's one of the very multiple good things about Yanmega Prime. And let's see some more magnetic draw here. I'm going to draw cards. Also, I didn't say this, but Matthew played a judge and put Dustin at 4 cards. So once again, Matthew has, these Magnezones to draw and draw cards, while Dustin doesn't. And it looks like time is called, so Dustin is turn 1. Now, in this format, whoever's taking the most prize cards actually wins. So right now, Matthew is winning here. He has 2 prize cards left. Dustin has 3. Dustin has to decide, okay, what are we going to do here? What can we do to win this game? So Dustin's going to look at everything. So the big thing to notate note is during time, there's no time. You can take your time, decide what you want to do. And like I said, the player who's taking the most prize cards wins the game. So right now, that is Matthew. He has 2 prize cards left. And Matthew pretty much has game on board. He can actually, he doesn't because he only has 1 more turn. But right now, he does have the most prize cards taken, right? So that's a big thing here. All right, so see Copycat. This is great. Being judged to 4. Copycat, you're going to get 6, 7 cards, I imagine. Because Matthew used that magnetic draw. Took a prize card. So he's going to get at least 6 or 7 cards, depending on how many cards are in Matthew's hand. So we see Dustin will shuffle up here, and let's see what does he find with these cards. How can Dustin pull this off? So let's see what happens here. So let's see. You're going to see that there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so it looks like it's a 7. Must have magnetic draw, not played anything, and then took a prize card. And let's see what Dustin decides to do here. Does he eke? Well, if he ekes, that could be somewhat problematic because then Dustin has to take 2 prize cards in 1 turn. Can he do that? I don't know. That is a scary thing. There's a lot to consider on the line. Dustin could. He could maybe attach DCE and Lost Burn, but that only does 100 damage. So that doesn't work. If he has a catcher, he can maybe bring up the Yanmega and take a prize card on the bench Magnezone or something. There's a lot to consider here when you're Dustin's shoes. And you see Dustin is, thinning his deck out. So, okay, there's so many cards I have left. Okay, maybe he's just trying to think of all the resources. We might see an Eek here. Now, if he Eeks, does Dustin have a way to take 2 prize cards in 1 turn? That's the big question, right? What does Dustin do here? There's a lot to consider right now. So, what will happen? I mean, Dustin doesn't have any Yanmas down, so he can't get Yanmega the next turn. Like I said, both players are currently, I think, 6-0. Is that what the paper says? I think so. This is round 7. I think they're both 6-0 at this point. So, really tense game. I think at this point, both players should be, like, fine with making cut at least. I think so. I think back then that was, like, definitely fine. Like, 18 points already. And we might see Eek, maybe not. But there's no ties in this format, so that could be a big thing to consider as well. There's no tying, pretty much, back in 2011. No IDs. So, that is a big thing to consider. I don't think, yeah, because it's only like 2 lines, right? I don't think there's any ideas allowed. So, that was not a thing. All right, Dustin's going to look at everything. Just take its time. Like I said, there's no time limit now. We are in time over. Both players played, significantly well, fast enough. And, there's unfortunately hit time. Especially in this format, when we had to take 6 prize cards on no EX Pokemon. So, that's a big thing to know. Right, so see what Dustin decides to do here. He's looking at his hand. We might see an Eek, might not see an Eek. See how does he play this situation. Okay. All right, still thinking about it. Still thinking about it here. Let's see what Dustin decides to do. Okay, so he attaches Psychic Energy to Zoroark, and this is where things start getting really interesting. Because now all of a sudden you're like, what's the Psychic Energy for, right? Now, back then, people know what the Psychic... You know what that is. You know what that's for, right? I think people should know what that is. So it doesn't attach a Psychic Energy to Zoroark. I'm not going to give any spoilers. If you know what it is, then you know it's about to happen anyway. You know it's probably the best moment of Pokemon ever. But I think it's a very interesting play right now that's about to happen. So Matthew is now turn 2, right? So on Matthew's turn... gonna cut Dustin's deck. We're gonna Eek, get 6 new cards. Looks like that Cleffa, is it awake? Is it not awake? And it is snoozing. All right. So is he catcher? So now Matthew can bring anybody up if he wants to see a junk arm. And let's see what he decides to grab. Let's see, he's gonna grab catcher. He's gonna go after the catcher with the Zoroark with the Psychic Energy. Alright, so he's going to decide, alright, we'll attach a Rescue Energy here. And do we see a Lost Burn? Maybe not. Let's see what he decides to do. So he's going to Lost Burn. And he does discard the Rescue Energy and the Lightning Energy. So right now he's down 1 prize card. Doesn't matter. It's not his turn. Now on to Dustin's turn. Something has just happened. And let's pause it real quick. So Dustin just dropped a Jirachi with Time Hollow. And Jirachi has, let me make sure I get the right ability. So let's see, Jirachi, Time, Hollow. Let's see if we can pull up real quick. So it has Stardust Song. Once during the turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may flip 3 coins for each head, search discard pile for a Psychic Energy, and attach it to Jirachi. So what just happened is Matthew brought up the Zoroark, took a knockout with the Psychic Energy, and now Dustin dropped to Jirachi, flipped some coins, flipped 3 coins, and all 3 were heads, so he can grab up to 3 Psychic Energies, but he only grabbed 1 because there's 1 in the discard pile. Now that is a key thing to note because the attack that Jirachi has is Time Hollow. Choose a number of Pokemon's, choose a number of your opponent's Stage 1 or Stage 2 evolved Pokemon up to the amount of energy attached to Jirachi. Not energy cards, energy attached to Jirachi. Remove the highest stage evolution from each of those Pokemon and put those cards back into your opponent's hand. So now, Matthew knocked out the Zoroark with the Psychic Energy. Dustin has this Jirachi, flipped coins, got the Psychic Energy, and was able to attach it to Jirachi. So let's click play. So that Lightning Energy does go down. Okay. Let's see. What does Dustin decided to do here? So Dustin, he's got a Junk Arm. He's going to discard a Collector and a Zoroark. Okay, saying, I don't need these cards. Now, Dustin is the last turn. So let's see what he decides to do here. So we'll see a Collector. So Collector is going to look at top 7, find a supporter card. Can Dustin find a supporter card? Looks like no. We see a second Collector, right? Discarding a Rescue and maybe a Zorua. Gonna shuffle up. You have to shuffle after you look at your deck and everything like that. So we're gonna see a shuffle here. And let's see what does Dustin find with this Pokegear. Remember, you look at top 7, find a supporter card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So find a Charon of all cards. Oh my goodness. So Charon just says draw 3. And now if you're wondering, with those 3 cards, Dustin needs to find a DCE, right? So he can attach a DCE. You know, he can use that Time Hollow, have 3 energies, and he can de-evolve 3 of Matthew's cards, the Yanmega, Magnezone, and Magnezone. So let's see what happens. Does Dustin find this DCE, allowing him to, you know, de-evolve 3 Pokemon? Okay, so we see that, and we see Charon. Dustin's gonna flip him over here, showing, okay, there's Psychic, and there's DCE. So Dustin is able to attach that DCE to Jirachi, use Time Hollow, and de-evolve double Magnezone and a Yanmega to take 3 prize cards and win in 1 turn. It's probably the best play of Pokemon ever. It's really like exciting to see, and it was all set up because like Dustin put the Suck Energy on Zoroark. Now, what would have happened if like Matthew went after the Zoroark with no energy? I guess maybe we could have seen Dustin promote the Zoroark with the Psychic Energy, retreat to Cleffa, but then he would have missed, right? So that's an interesting thing to note. So it's pretty cool. It is a lot to consider, like, is knocking out the Zoroark with Psychic Energy, like, was it the correct play? But then, you know, maybe, I don't know, do you take out the threat with the energies? So that's an interesting thing to notate, right? You could have just, like, passed and maybe kept maybe hope Cleffa stayed asleep. Because, like I said, the big thing you see here is, like, Matthew's already winning because he has more prize cards. But either way, congratulations to Dustin. This is, like, one of the best moments ever. Just setting up these knockouts on Yanmega, on Magnezone. There's really no healing cards. I think there was, like, some potions and stuff like that, but nobody played those in those decks. And, like, dropping this, like, Psychic Energy and, like, seeing this, like, you're like, what just happened? It was, like, one of the coolest plays ever. And to me, it's, like, one of the crazy things ever. Like, Pokegear once whiff, Pokegear twice, hit the Charon, gonna draw 3, and he finds the DCE to win the game. That's pretty amazing. So, guys, hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a lot to take in if you don't know anything about, like, 2011, but I think it is pretty cool to show, like, older formats, showing you, like, hey, this is what, you know, how you play decks. Like, I think this is probably one of the best ways to show it. Just look at classic videos. And if there's another video you want me to showcase or not, let me know. If you like this format or not, let me know as well. We'll probably do more of it because I love rewatching old videos. Like I said, this is 10 years ago. I never thought Pokemon would be in this place 10 from now, right? That's crazy. Pokemon been around for 10 years. That's insane. But guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Shout out Top Cut, as always, fantastic. Puka and them. Yeah. So if you want to watch that videos, the link is down below. So, but yeah, guys, if you have any suggestions, comments, let me know. I'm willing to take it all, and I'll see you back tomorrow for Expanded Thursday. Alrighty, guys. Bye.